be too bloody enthusiastic. Yeah, we don't want that. So I've sponsored the tweet stream, so I want to get a bit more value for money. So hash Ci2011. Get it, let's hammer it, let's trend again. My name's @Rexstar. Don't ask why, it's rhyming slang that's something to do with Rex Hunt. And at Deloitte Digital. So I'm going to talk top 10 things in 10 minutes, and the one thing I'm not going to talk about is brand. Your advertising agencies can bore you shitless with that, but because it is a very narrow view of social media. So what's the top number one thing? Social media is extraordinarily powerful, and what I find is that most organisations haven't even scratched the surface in terms of leveraging its power. One place that actually did scratch the surface was a place called Flowerdale. It was burnt to the ground in February 2009. You can sort of see that little YouTube video picture of what it looked like. I went there, my sister-in-law lived there, her house burnt down at the time, 4 or 5 hours later, after my parents-in-law's house burnt down. Interestingly enough, part of the power of social media, the CFA and DSE websites went down. I went onto Twitter. I saw somebody tweeting that Wandong was on fire. My parents-in-law lived the hill behind. I rang them, said, get out. Their house burnt down 15 minutes after that phone call. That logo there with the tree, we crowdsourced that through Flickr. That logo now was the symbol of recovery for our town, and 100 people have it tattooed on them. The blog became a central way of getting people back to their town. Our main concern was population flight. People had been dispersed. How did they know what was going on? How could we include them in driving their own recovery? The bottom thing there in green, that's the wiki that we use to manage all the projects. When I said to the people in Flowerdale, do you know what a wiki is? They said, no. I said, oh, that's okay. You know what Wikipedia is, don't you? No. It's like, shit. Lele fever. Wikis in plain English in 2 minutes. They understood it, and 7 months later they were the first organisation outside North America to win a Forrester Groundswell Award for best use of social media with social impact. They knew nothing about it 7 months before. They had no money. They had a little bit of help from the Rexstar, but this community has been able to drive its recovery and is now seen as a poster child of community-led recoveries after disaster. Number two, if you're not using it and you don't know how to use it, learn how to use it. What you'll find with any sort of technology, learn by doing. You don't learn it by doing a business case. You don't learn by pretending that it's not happening. You don't do it by saying it's a fad. Brad and I would have spent much of the time since the web's there saying the web's a fad, you know, social media's a fad, the mobile's a fad, everything's a fad. Yeah, whatever, everyone's using it. If you're not, you need to learn how to use it. If you don't know how to learn how to use it, find somebody who can teach you. One of the things we do at Deloitte is we have a program where digital natives teach digital dinosaurs, normally the partners, how to become digital immigrants. It has been a fantastic program because the other thing it's done culturally is say, actually young people, we can learn from you because you're smarter and better at doing these things than we are, and we can also impart a bit of wisdom along the way. Explicitly support it. I do a lot of social media work with organisations. I go and talk to the staff. Why aren't you doing more? Why aren't you doing more? Our leaders don't support it. I go and talk to the leaders. Your staff say you don't support it. Well, we've hired you. Of course we support it. Can't they see that? It's like, had you ever thought to tell them? Oh, shit, no. So explicitly support it. Our CEO back in 2005, that's him there, Guillaume, he started getting emails from people saying, partners saying, our staff are using YouTube and MySpace and we're all scared. Guillaume put out a firm-wide email saying, you know what? This is not going away. This is the way of the future. We can either embrace it or bury our heads in the sand and pretend it's not happening. We're going to embrace it. We're going to lead it. And you would have, if you have sort of, unless you've been one of the people burying your head in the sand, you know that we do. Aim, fire, adjust. This is a term that comes from the way I play Angry Birds. I aim, I fire, and then I look at the thing and I adjust. I say, what resources do I have? I don't say, I'm going to ring Angry Birds and say, I've got a business case to get more resources or I need more time or that. I aim, fire, adjust. One of my clients, Carlton Football Club, we started working with them just over 12 months ago. They started off, we got embedded in there and we just started teaching, learning by doing, game day tweeting, Facebook shop, try different things, Blue and A, like Q&A, except the fans through Facebook ask the players. You know, if you really want to boost traffic at a football club, get Chris Judd to have a baby every week. But the number of, basically, the Facebook post views have now gone to something like 30 to 1 versus web page views. So hugely powerful. A huge number of fans have come on. The way we do it, we've got a fan group called the Devotees. We're lucky enough, anybody who's in social media knows Pro Blogger. He's a Carlton supporter. He's one of our devotees. We've got a reference group of fans who love this stuff, who know what they're doing in social media, and we just keep going, go, go, go. Never stop, learn by doing. Keep doing more of what works and less of what doesn't. Don't be scared to try, because there's a very low marginal cost in 140 characters. Have a policy and communicate it, okay? That lady's Leslie Moore. Leslie Moore's the General Counsel of Deloitte. People say, how do you manage the legal people? Very easily in Deloitte. The CEO said, Leslie, you're our Chief Legal Counsel. You're in charge of the Social Media Steering Committee. By the way, this is not about stopping what's going on. This is about making us the leaders but keeping us safe. And you've got to look after that, and mad Rex the guy. Leslie is really focused on how to actually communicate to the people what we need to do to keep us safe. We have a social media steering committee every month. Leslie chairs that. It's about going out to our people, teaching them, telling them what to do. When people say to me, who runs social media at Deloitte? I say there's about 5,500 people who do it, because we want our employees to use this stuff. The networks of our employees are so much more powerful than the networks of us. Let's use them. Use it inside. We have a Yammer network where about 90% of our people are on there. Everybody who's in social media knows I'm a massive Yammer fan. Why am I a massive Yammer fan? Because our people don't talk about silos anymore. We talk about super connectors. Simon, who works with me there, got him to send me a super connector data analytics diagram yesterday. Some of the super connectors are the top guys. Simon's one of the super connectors. There's a second-year grad, Jess Nichols, in Sydney. She's a super connector. The glue in our organisation can come from anywhere, but we can connect across geographies, across boundaries, and we just launched a global Yammer network. What's the benefit of people just waste their time? Actually, groups who use Yammer most are more profitable, have higher net revenue growth, and have the lowest staff turnover and the highest staff engagement. If you want to get your organisation to go from silos to an agile, connected organisation, use social media on the inside. Use it to recruit. Again, our employee networks are probably the best source of talent. The people that they know on Facebook are the people that they went to uni with, the people that they've worked in places before. So we run a program called Find Like Minds, employee referral program. We also have our Facebook page and the obligatory iPhone app. We won the the Association of Australian Graduate Employers Most Innovative Award last week for what we've done with Facebook and what we've done with iPhone. We live stream webcasts every week through a thing called the Green Room. We have a thing called Ask a Deloitian. Ask a Deloitian uses Get Satisfaction, that very expensive software as a service program at $39 a month, integrated into Facebook. If it's a technical HR question, it goes to the HR people. If it's a question like what's it like to, or do you have any internships for international students, that might jump into the Yammer network. So real people on the floor respond. We're connecting inside and outside through Facebook. Fantastic way to recruit. And if you're into that talent market, you've got to get on board. Use it to amplify. You know, a lot of people, and hopefully most of you here, use Twitter. If you don't, get on it. Basically, Twitter is a great method of amplification. So, you know, if you've got one follower, you may not sort of have the power to amplify. You've got to stick at this stuff, you build it, but Twitter is the way that you can really extend your reach on a global basis. Twitter's a great use of basically amplifying your message, because if people retweet what you're doing, or if you're blogging, your blog exists in the ether, tweet out. So tweeting at conferences. If you don't have a following, look at the hashtags about the stuff you're tweeting about and add them, and other people who are interested in your area will follow. Use it to innovate. One of the things that we do is our innovation program is run by social media. Basically, user-generated ideas. So we make that extraordinary sort of thing of why don't we ask our employees? So we crowdsource from our employees. What ideas can we take and develop to market? How can we be more efficient? What game-changing ideas have you got for clients? We review those ideas every 2 weeks. Those ideas basically get plugged into a thing. There's voting, there's comments, there's collaboration. That one idea there's Project Intelligence. Another one that sort of won a whole heap of awards recently is an idea that came in pretty well, business continuity management on your smartphone. Basically, when people's, Queensland floods or buildings burn down, folders or IT systems go down, we have no business continuity management, nobody knows what to do. We put that on a smartphone, we whack the prototype up on YouTube, we use that to socialise the idea. A number of people said, you build it, we'll get on board, and that's something that came from a staff member that's now in the market and is going global. Anyway, final thing, the top number one, maybe it's number 10, but it's number one, start now. Social media is not necessarily, not like the old IT days. IT has been democratised. If the community of Flowerdale can do it, I'm sure that many of your organisations who are sort of either banning it or not sure, or, let's go and do a business case for it. Somebody said to me to do a business case for a blog, for using Blogger. I said, okay, I'll do it for you now. It's free. If I make 1 cent out of it, it's a positive business case, done, let's go. So outthink, out-execute, don't out-plan, don't out-buggerise around, don't out-shit yourself and worry that the sky's going to fall in. Just go out and do something.